This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach.
Hello, everybody, and hello to all of our amazing viewers joining us here live in the studio, and also those tuning in from around the world. This is Daily with Doc and Becca, where we bring you powerful conversations with leaders, innovators, and change makers who are helping people think differently about health, life, leadership, and success. So I'm your host, Becca Dukes, certified naturopathic practitioner, certified holistic health coach, and director of student services for the Institute of Holistic Health, and the host of the Daily with Doc and Becca, and producer, where our mission is to educate, inspire, and empower people to take charge of their health, for their mindset and their future. Well, today's conversation is one of that is going out to many entrepreneurs, and it's one that they really need to hear. So a lot of people start a business believing they've stepped into entrepreneurship, but without realizing it, they continue to operate with the employee mindset. So I am super excited, as our guests today are leaders behind the Majestic Eagles, a team that is dedicated to inspiring individuals to elevate their thinking, develop true leadership, and step into the purpose and vision they were created to pursue. So they are entrepreneurs themselves. They've taken everything serious in what it needs, and they are going to be presenting to us how vision and belief can shape success and so much more. I am honored to welcome Raymond and Yolanda Brown back to the Daily with Doc and Becca show. Hello, Yolanda, since you're looking at me, and Raymond. So glad to see you both on with us. We are excited, as I know that you've got some dynamic insight into entrepreneurship, leadership, and success. So
Absolutely. Welcome. Thank you. We're glad to be here. So Raymond and I are going to talk with you about something that's really, really so important to us. It really helps us to understand what it is to continue to grow. So today we're talking about renewing the mind, thinking like the CEO of your life. So when we think about success in as an entrepreneur, or success is like entrepreneurship and relationship marketing begins in one place, and that's in the mind. So in this engaging and hopefully for you a thought-provoking conversation that we're hoping to have today, well, between the two of us and you listening out there, but you will get an opportunity to ask questions. We want to shift our thinking, and in so doing, it's going to unlock the new levels of growth, of confidence, as well as opportunity. So many entrepreneurs unintentionally operate with an employee mindset in their own business. But real success requires something different. It requires the vision, the belief, and the willingness to think bigger than our current circumstances. So as we explore how our thoughts shape our actions, how our beliefs fuels results, and why having a clear map, a system, a proven system, and trust in your leadership and community are very critical to long-term success, in particularly in what we do. So through some inspiring quotes that you're going to hear today, real conversation between Raymond and myself, and you asking your questions, an interactive discussion with whom I call a personal development coach, and that's what he does. We hope to dive into ways to renew our thinking and align our mindset with the future that we're building. So let's challenge our thinking. Let's expand our vision and renew our minds together. So several years ago, I heard something that really stayed with me. Someone said, your life will move in the direction of your strongest thoughts. I'll say that again. Your life will move in the direction of your strongest thoughts. At first, I didn't much think about it, but over time, I began to notice something interesting. Two people could have the same opportunity, the same training, the same company, and yet the results were completely different. One person would say, this probably won't work for me. I'm not sure I'm cut out for this. I'll try, but I don't know. And another person facing the very same opportunity would say, I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to grow through this. I may not know everything yet, but I'll figure it out. Same opportunity, different thinking, different results. So that's when I realized something very important. Success in business isn't just about the opportunity in front of you. It is about thinking within you. So because our business will grow, yet before your business grows, before your leadership grows, before your results grow, your thinking must grow first. And if your thinking isn't growing, that is what you may hear folks refer to as stinking thinking. So I'm going to say this, and I hope that you will get it. And as we talk about this today, I want you to really realize that you can renew your mind. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So the power of the mind is really, really powerful. It's about our thoughts. It's about our beliefs. It's about the actions that we take in order to get the results. So entrepreneurs must think differently than employees. So there's this employee mindset and there is this employer mindset. And hopefully this is going to resonate with each of you if you're really serious about growing your business, if you're really serious about renewing your mind. So I'm going to speak as if I'm the employee, and I'm going to ask Raymond to speak as if he is the entrepreneur. So the employee mindset is, I hope this works. The entrepreneur thinking is, I will figure it out. So you are that entrepreneur. So I'm going to say, as an employee, I'm going to say, I need permission. As an entrepreneur who thinks, you're going to say that you create what?
Value.
Create value or opportunity. So an employee may say, I get paid for my time. An entrepreneur may say, I get paid
For value.
for value.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you think about it, that's the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur's mindset. It's the way in which we have to change. We are now the entrepreneur. We have to get paid for value. We have to create an opportunity, and we also have to figure it out. And not be that victim to say, I hope this works. I need permission. I get paid for time. So here's a quote that may help bring this to life for you as you renew your minds. It may help you to change your self-talk. See, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your life moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts. So what are you thinking? Where are you leading yourself with your thoughts? So now I'm going to have a conversation with Raymond, and as a personal development coach, and I'm going to ask him a few questions that hopefully it will help you to understand why renewing of the mind is really important in what we do here at this company in relationship marketing. It really does depend on how you decide that you're going to change your thoughts. And when you change your thoughts, that's when you will change. So Raymond, why is changing our thinking so difficult?
Well, it's because our programming. I mean, even as a child, we buy into these beliefs of our parents, our surroundings, and church, everything around us, especially from the ages of like 2 to 8. And then it kind of cuts off around 13 years old. So everything that what normally happens, we take these things in as truths about ourselves, about life. And here's but that's not the issue. The issue is we form these beliefs, and as we get older, we submit these beliefs into ourselves, so we don't allow ourselves to be open to anything else. And then we start thinking about, okay, now it's in there, and anything that new comes in, for instance, if I'm not programmed to be successful, then my past thoughts catches up with me. And especially when hard times happen, we don't know what to do but to go back to what we normally do. It's very comfortable for us to live in what we know. And it's really not that hard to change. It's just that nobody has taught us how to change and how to think. We hear people say, well, you got to change. Well, that's easy to say, and people will even agree with that, but they don't know how to. How do I get started? What do I do? What's the first thing I do? That's the question, right? So we change our thinking by first noticing that we are stuck. Can I tell you a little story real quick?
Sure.
Okay, real. Has everybody heard of the spider monkey story?
I'm sure they have.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about the spider monkey. So our beliefs are like the spider monkey, right? That's what I'm trying to get to. So the way trappers catch spider monkeys for their meat is this: they set a trap and they put a box, and they put a little hole in the box big enough for the spider monkey to put his hand through. And spider monkeys love peanuts. So the spider monkey will put his hand into the hole and grab that peanut and ball his fist up to pull it out, to grip it and pull it out. And they can see the people, the hunters, coming to kill them. And they won't let that peanut go. They would rather die with that peanut than to let it go. And we're kind of like that. We would, as we get older, we would rather die with our beliefs that doesn't work for us, and we know it doesn't work, but we would rather die holding on to those beliefs that would even kill us before we want to do the work to change our minds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. And that does make change real difficult, is basically that programming that we don't want to let go of. So let me ask you this question. What are some of the most common limiting beliefs entrepreneurs carry?
The old programming. I don't think we as entrepreneurs or distributors, when we get into network marketing, are any different than anybody on the outside. There's a saying, you take yourself with you no matter where you go, right? So if we have negative thinking and limited thinking on the outside before we join network marketing, we're going to have it when we join, right?
Right.
Now, the good thing about network marketing is this. On the outside, you can get a job. You never even have to think about life or change or getting better or tapping into your wisdom. You just go to work, get a paycheck, 40, 45 years, enjoy your life for a couple of years and die. That's it. When you decide to get into entrepreneurship or specifically network marketing, the thing that I love about it most, it requires change. It requires better. You're getting better. And that's not a selective, like taking a course in college. You can select. It is mandatory that we change if you're going to succeed. So it's not a selective. It's mandatory for those of us who want to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Limited beliefs. We need to let them go. So how can we recognize when our mindset is holding us back?
How can
we recognize that?
Well, the first thing we got to do is develop, and I guess here's what I want to say about this. Oh, and it says, how can someone recognize when their mindset is holding them back? Well, it's just being aware of where you are in life and being honest with yourself. And that's the thing about growth or getting better. The first thing you have to do is be honest with yourself, right? Like, for instance, you always got to ask yourself questions. I don't care what it is. If you want to grow, I don't care how uncomfortable it is, how hurtful it is to us. See, the reason why we don't want to ask questions is this. It's because it hurts us, or we don't like pain, right? And so when we ask ourselves those questions, those painful questions, the human mind, or almost human nature, will do anything to run away from the truth, especially if they are painful. If we've had some painful experiences or embarrassing experiences, and most of us have in our life and continue to. So we don't like to go there, right? We don't like to be honest, because let me just tell you this. What has gone down in us with pain is going to come up in pain. Now, I'm going to give you a little scenario on how you can do that, because it's easy to say these things, but the answer, well, where's the answer? So it's very simple, guys. You don't have to go through all this. And what I'm about to tell you, you may practice it or you may not. I can just tell you it changed my life completely. When these thoughts come up, whether it's about your business, well, if it's about your business, it's about your life. It's about your life, it's about your business. When these thoughts come up, negative, it could be anything. Your mother mistreated you for years. Your father abandoned you, or you had a bad breakup, or your teacher embarrassed you in front of the class, or you were bullied, or whatever. When all of these things come up, guys, instead of trying to push them back down so you don't have to experience that feeling, or that pain or that hurt, let them come up. They don't kill you. See, we've been taught to push them back down, and that stuff stays down in there and that rot. And so we don't really allow freedom to come in or clarity to come in because we're hiding, right? You let that stuff come up. And here's what you do. Very simple. I pray with all my heart and sincerity that you guys, or one of you guys, or whoever, do this like it was done to me. You say, I relax and I release you. Now they're going to come up 1,000 times a day. So you do it 1,000 times a day. You're in the grocery store, you're driving, those negative thoughts come up 1,000 times a day. You don't have to go through any kind of seance or go to a psychiatrist. I relax and I release you. And I understand where you say, well, you don't understand, Raymond, how bad I've had it or how bad I hurt. I'm not like the normal person. Well, guys, a law, a universal law is a universal law. That means it works for everybody all the time. Doesn't make any difference what your race, what your gender, what country you come from. That's a universal law. If you do it and do it long enough, you're not going to see any results tonight or tomorrow night. But as you do it every day, as much as you can, and you don't have to be perfect, right? You do the best you can. In a few months, you're going to see yourself being a totally different person. Then that's where real growth comes in. Because all we're doing, if you're just adding all these trainings and this positive thinking on top of that junk down in there, you're not getting any better. It's like taking 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. We got to let that stuff go. When you let it go, you can start growing. You can start becoming the person you want to be. You can start being honest and stop running for the rest of your life. Life is short, guys. It really is compared to this universe is like what, 13, 14 billion years. We only here for 80, 90 years at tops. Life is short. We supposed to be having some fun, right? Mm-hmm. So have fun doing it with this program I just shared with you. Have fun doing it. You ain't got to be so serious. It's going to happen eventually. As we say about ZRadical, it's impossible not to, right? So, yeah. And I'm not trying to sell you on that. You got your life. If you want to keep it the way you want to keep it, please do so, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying people pray for answers. And it's funny how we want to hold on to our old beliefs, even when the answers come our way. And we get addicted to looking for the answers, and we never accept them. It comes in, that sounds good. You try it for a couple of hours or a day, and then we right back trying to find something else, right? So just be honest with yourself. And that's where we start, be honest.
And that's where the recognition comes in, is the honesty and being aware of what's going on around us. And now what are we going to do about that?
Absolutely.
We can leave it, as you said, you can leave it just the way it is and just keep piling on, or you can change.
Yep.
And to do that, relax and release.
Yep.
Wow.
And I see people doing this. I saw somebody shaking their head. So guys, when you go to another company, maybe I'm getting the cart before the wheel. Go to another company or whatever, and we think that it's going to be different over there because it's sexy. It's got a shiny gleam to it, They tell you this and they tell you that. Well, it does not matter. You still take yourself with you. If you're not doing the work on the inside, see, we always have been programmed to associate life with a thing, something physical, right? We've been programmed for that. That's why they say work hard, Well, you can work hard all you want to, but if you're not programming and being honest with yourself, all that outside stuff means nothing. You just take yourself with you, and the results are the same.
Yep. So you basically did answer the next question I was going to talk about as far as the results and what you can do about them. But then when we take a look at the results, how do we build belief when results are slow, when our business is not growing? Oh my God, I just had a leg to quit. Oh my God, this person has been around for a while, but now they're just saying that nothing is working and they just decide to do something else. Or this person over here gets distracted. So how do we build our belief when things are just not working? It seems to be going slow. Business, just people seems to be quitting.
Yeah, that is. I once heard a statement that says, "No, I've never seen anybody grow that got everything they wanted." And so this goes back to commitment, right? And most people say they're committed, but it's a condition added to it. The people that guarantee that they're going to succeed in anything in life is unconditional commitment. Unconditional commitment means, does everybody know what that means? That means unconditional. There's nothing that can happen in your life that's going to make you quit or give up on your goal or your dream. Nothing. I don't care what it is. Death.
Or people quitting, or people because that's just the way this business is.
Yeah,
and you just have to firmly believe in what you believe in, and you're doing the right thing, and allow people to do whatever they need to do.
Yeah, they're just human beings that come into this business with all the programming that they've gotten all their lives. And so therefore they start resisting when something comes into their lives that's good, which to me, it doesn't make any difference whether they become a 5-star or not, is the growth
in the process.
Yeah. Like when you become wealthy or rich, and this is for people that are successful. I don't mean just people that have money. It's not the money that makes you. It's the person that you become in that process. And I really mean that, guys. I know what I'm talking about because I've been poor and I've been rich. And it was not easy. And many nights I prayed to God, I'm ready. I put the miles on my car. I've read every book. I listen to my sponsor. I go to every meeting. I'm on every phone call. What else is it you want from me? Please. And then I would get mad at God. Oh, you must don't care about me. He was just saying, the universe and God were just saying, you ain't ready yet. But I was saying to myself, I'm ready. And then I heard God say, you said unconditional. Not when you want it, unconditional commitment. That's a process, guys, that you learn.
And that's where that renewing of the mind really begins to come into play.
Yeah.
Because that process, if you're not willing to, as you indicated, oh, it's not happening when I want it to happen, or it's not happening the way I want it to happen, and you begin to blame other people, you begin to say, well, they're just not doing it the way I want to do it. Things are changing. Life is changing. So, and life does change. Things do change. But the fact of the matter is that we have to remember that it's like our mentor told us when we first got started. And he was saying, we were saying, well, maybe we can do things a little bit differently. And he said, well, when you start making $10,000 a month, if you want to change the system, if you want to change something, then you can do it at that time. But then he sat back and he says, if you're making $10,000 a month and what you're doing is working, why would you change? You can add on to it. You know, technology. We didn't have technology back in the day. Now we have technology. We didn't have AI back in the day. Now we have AI, social media. All of that is in addition to, because there's one thing that will never, ever change in this business, as far as I'm concerned, and I think I can speak for most leaders in this business, is building relationships. This business is really about building relationships. So you pointed that out, and you also point out the fact of commitment. So I ask you this, why do you think a person does not follow a system when they'll say that things aren't working, but they're not willing to follow a system?
Simple. Everything goes back to our self-worth, our self-esteem. In this business, out of this business, you know, being honest, it goes back again to us looking on the outside, thinking that the answers that we want. See, everybody teaches us the how to do things, like the system.
The
right?
how-tos.
The how-to. That's what everybody want to know. In life, whether it's in network marketing or anything, we want to know the how-to. But in network marketing, it's the how-tos from the inside. How do I be honest with myself? How do I grow? See, when you grow on the inside, everything grows on the outside. But we just think just the opposite. We think if things get better on the outside, then we'll get better on the inside. It doesn't work that way. Kind of like we've talked about this a million times, guys. People that win the lottery, let me put it this way. It's not the product that we have at Longevity. The product is not the product. The product is the people, the relationships you just talked about.
Yeah.
And it's not, we want to acquire. It's not the acquiring, it's the becoming. Does everybody understand that? It's not the acquiring of being a 5-star, it's the becoming the person on the inside, and the 5-star follows that. Or the money. And that's why you see people who win the lottery within 5 years. I mean, I think it's 5 years. They're right back where they started, which means that they acquired stuff, but they never did. The inside never matched the outside.
Right. So why do you think the system, having a system, is so important?
Well, it's because of our business requires duplication, right? So that's why the system is so important, is that you can leave your business or leave your organization and the business will continue to go on. The committee will continue to go on through what? Through what?
Infinity, forever.
Through
it just continues to grow.
Absolutely.
So when you think about that, my last question, and then we'll begin to bring this to closure for folks so that you can ask your questions, is we have the system because we want to create duplication. So that here in Texas, we have people that would be in Oregon or be in DC, and they could be doing the same thing that we're all doing, so that it's duplicatable. If someone goes to an event, it's duplicatable. Not everything runs like a McDonald's all over the place. They have this system that everybody works. A 19-year-old can be a manager of McDonald's because they have such a system. But in our business, we also, in order for us to be able to bring people in, to have that commitment, to build that relationship, we have to make the right approach. So why do you think that some people, even though they may see that the right approach, be it tried and it's true, they still want to do it their way? They still want to offer a solution before they find out what the issue is. Do you think that's because of the simple fact of self-growth? and not really believing that it works. So
it's a programming sabotage. Like what you're saying, something comes your way and it's going to help you. If you're programming, if you have low self-esteem, if you program for a low level of success, the only thing that you can do is sabotage yourself, whether it's the approach or whatever. And then the other thing is that, it takes discipline to be successful in any business when you're an entrepreneur, especially this. And it's easier to just do what we've been doing off the top of our heads, program all our lives, than it is to stop and practice, knowing why. The reason, one of the things that I love about, if you guys allow me to just give me a moment to just reflect, is this. I love how blessed and how open-minded and the work that we do on the inside, because it allowed us to be open-minded. We had to stop and say, look, we work really hard, and this is before we found out about the right approach, the correct approach. We worked really hard, and we couldn't understand. We respond. The only thing that saved us was our hard work ethic, and I guess we had a great attitude. But we were sponsoring them faster than they could quit. Now we don't sponsor as many people, and they still don't quit because of the approach. See, it's not just the approach. Most people say, well, use this approach. But it's a reason why, through all the studies and research, why this works. We talk about relationships. Well, if you look at the way we make our approaches, it's not just the approach itself, the past, present, and future. In between the lines, there are things that's happening between two human beings, human nature, that allows one to be more favorable to you and what you have. And then if not, then we don't even bring it up. That's what I love about it. It's not just the past, present, and future. It's the in-between things. And once you guys read the book and listen to our trainings and all of that stuff, you can go to majesticeagles.info and listen to it. But just dive in, commit yourself to that thing, and your business will change. And so that is the difference. It's not just what we do, it's why we do it. It's not what you do in this business, it's why you do it. See, all these people tell us what to do, but why do we do it? At each step of our system, there's a step. Like, for instance, make a list of names. Well, but why? Follow up within 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, but why? What's the purpose of it? What's the human experience behind that? What is the research behind that? Right?
Yeah.
Every step that we do is a reason why, not just to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna kind of sum that up, and then we're gonna sum up our talk for today. When making the approach, as Raymond indicated, we talk about the past, and most of you on this call, or many of you, are product driven. So you may talk about a condition that a person has, but you use that same approach if a person is looking to start on their own business, to supplement their income. Same types of questions. How long have you had the condition? That's the past. What are you doing now for that condition? If you're on any medication, if you're on it for 5 years, are you looking to make a change? That's the future. So those are questions that you want to ask, and you want to listen for those answers. And if they tell you that, look, I'm happy with what I'm doing, my medication is working, many of us That is the point where they don't qualify. But many of us at that time will say, well, you know, there are side effects, or, you know, I have something that's natural that you really should do. So we push it on them. We manipulate them, but we don't think we are. We think we're helping them. But we've crossed that line and said, I know what's better for you than what you know that's better for you. And so that's why we're saying with the approach, it's building that relationship. And we may not even bring up that we're in business, that we have a product, but we will get their information and we want to stay in contact with them, because you never know how life happens. But many of us will not do that. We will try to make them at that point in time, convert them to be on our product, convert them to doing whatever, and then 30 days they quit. And you wonder why.
Well, within 90 days, for sure.
Within 90 days, for sure. So guys, that's what's so important. So as we begin to wrap this up, we want you to understand that there are 3 keys to renewing the mind. And you definitely want to make sure that you are working a system. And that if you want to get the book, you know, you definitely want to, you can purchase it. It's how to sell network marketing without fear, anxiety, or losing your friends, by Michael Oliver. So, but there are 3 key things that you want to do to renew your mind. 1 is guard what you feed your mind. So make sure that you're feeding good stuff. That comes with reading the books, listening to podcasts, CDs, if you still got them.
I got them.
and then of course your environment, making sure that you're around positive people. And number 2, make sure that you can renew your mind by doing this. Speak the future before you see it. You know, I am, I shall, I have. And then stay connected to people who think bigger. So you definitely want to be around those folks that really believe that they can have more, and they also believe that you can. And Raymond and I do believe that you can. We understand that you and truly believe you can renew your mind. So renewing the mind challenges the thoughts that limit us and replaces them with thoughts that empower us. Instead of I need to know everything, we say I am willing to learn. Instead of it should be easy, we say I'm willing to grow. Instead of I believe in when I see it, we say I will believe it until I see it. See, this new thinking, this new future, this is really, it's not new. It's called renewing the mind. So we talked about that today, renewing the mind. But renewing the mind is not something that happens once. It is a daily decision, something that we have to do every day. As Raymond indicated, when those things and those thoughts come up that you're like, I don't know why this is happening, just relax and release it. So every day we have a choice. Every day. We can think small or we can think bigger. We can focus on limitations or we can focus on possibilities. Network marketers, relationship marketers, entrepreneurs, independent business owners, whatever you want to call it, don't succeed because everything is easy. They succeed because they choose to think different. If you want a different future, you must feel free to create different thoughts. If you want a different future, you must first feel free to create a different thought. So as you leave here today, ask yourself one simple question. And you, alone in your room or anywhere where you're by yourself, be very honest with yourself. What thought do I need to change in order to reach my next level? What thought do I need to change in order to reach my next level? Because when your thinking changes, your belief changes, your actions change. and eventually the results change. And that is how you truly renew your mind. So we're going to open it up now for questions.
I have one other thing that I want to say.
Okay.
Real quick. Guys, unconditional commitment means, it doesn't mean to the business. Of course it does, but unconditional commitment means committing yourself to grow mentally and emotionally. That's what unconditional commitment means. We just think it means something on the outside, something physical, right? It can mean both, but most of the time it means the mental. So you want to go ahead and
just renew your mind, guys. It's up to you. It's a daily decision, a daily decision.
Mm-hmm.
And it absolutely is a daily decision, because each and every day something may come up to distract you.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's going to.
Yep. There's no doubt. It's life.
Yeah.
You know, car breaks down. If you have children, they get sick. You have different plans for that day, and something else just comes in the way that you've got to take care of. So a meeting happens. So many things that can happen, but how you respond to them is what's most important.
And that commitment covers all of that. Because here's what you'll see, guys. Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen it. If you've been around the business for a while and you had, let's just say you had somebody that was in your organization and for some reason they quit, right? Mm-hmm. And then you talk to them again and they said, one of the excuses they use is, here's a good one. You know, life happens. You know how life happens. You've heard it. Well, the same thing that happened to them has happened to somebody else, and they didn't quit. That's where that unconditional commitment means, and that growth. And guys, growth just don't come because we want it, or we have to work. Now, I do want to say this. It's in us. The wisdom is, we were all born with it. You're the greatest thing to walk the face of this earth. We were all, but it was blocked out of it the time we got here. Fear, because that's what it all boils down to. We can call it, you know, different areas, insecurity, abandonment, whatever, but it's all fear. And once you start letting this fear come up and letting it go, relax and releasing it. And the three things that we share with you guys before is just, I'm gonna give you a little method too to keep you relaxed. Because when you're relaxed, you can handle anything differently and you'll have more clarity. And that is one of the first principles God put here. He didn't use these words, but it's to relax. Live a relaxed life. Well, how do you do that? Very simple. Takes less than 20 seconds to do it. But you got to do it all day, just like you're relaxing and you're releasing. I relax. Here it is, guys. I'm giving you pearls here. Relax your shoulders. Relax your chest. Relax your stomach. And relax your hips. And it takes 20 seconds, less than 20 seconds, just to say that. You don't have to be on a couch. You can be in your car. You can be standing up at the grocery store, anywhere in the world, on a plane, talking to your best friend and a crowd of people, and just say those things. See what's going to happen to you in the next 2 months. You won't see it today, or not even next week, or 30 days, but keep doing it. And it takes less than 20 seconds to do that, right? And it also takes less than 5 seconds to, when something comes up, don't fight it no more. That's why people have problems sleeping. You're fighting those thoughts that come up because they've been taught us, well, you got to control your thoughts. Well, if you're anything like me, I've never been able to control my thoughts. Now, if you're one of those people that can, do it. But I've never, so what I do, I use when I go to bed or before the bed, I start relaxing, right? Now wake up, it's morning time.
Yep.
Yep.
Any other questions, Rebecca?
Well, I just want to remind everybody the book that you had recommend, How to Sell Network Marketing Without Fear or Anxiety or Losing Your Friends by Michael Oliver. And we have had some comments, people that are excited that you're here. As Rod says, the Browns are the perfect package and power couple. And, you know, your message today, as I look through the list of people who are on with us, majority of them are in the business. And you're not in the business, you want to be in the business. But what you said has so much truth. It's not an overnight thing. It's progress over perfection. And the more that you practice it, the better you're going to become, the easier it's going to come, and things will start to flow. But it does take daily making that decision that you're in it to win it.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Yep.
So, folks, if anybody has a question and you want to raise your hands, for those of you who are here in our live audience, please raise your hand. If you're out on Rumble or YouTube, or I think Facebook may or may not be up at the moment, but you can comment and bring in your questions that way as well. We have just a few moments. But one thing that you had said with relationships, building a relationship doesn't happen in one conversation, but it starts.
That's right.
And I love the fact that you mentioned how you do that 24 to 48 hour follow-up as soon as somebody signs up. Now that's signs up as a client or a distributor, correct?
That's correct. 24 to 48 hours, doesn't matter if you are a client or a distributor, you have to follow up. Remember, this is your business. If you don't follow up, is that putting out that reflection that it's not really that serious?
Yeah. And, you know, the follow-up is after you make that approach, and maybe they say, well, and you give them a brochure or you give them a site to go to, right? For instance, if you're in the grocery store and you make the approach, well, you're not going to sign somebody up right then and there. But they might, you know, you give them the information, they can go and take a look, and you follow up within the 24 to 48 hours, right? Now, the reason why most people don't follow up, Becca, is because they make the wrong approach. They make it out of fear, so they follow up with fear, and they can feel your fear vibration.
Or they may not follow up in 24 to 48 hours. They lose the phone number, or they, you know, all of a sudden it's, oh, I forgot, you know. And that's because they didn't make the right approach.
Yeah, they tell us, you know, that stuff, guys, that, you know, you got to go through enough yeses, enough no's to get to some yes, get to a yes. That stuff doesn't work. They just don't know what else to tell us. Or you throw enough mud up against the wall and something gonna stick, you know. None of that stuff works. And that's why most people don't want to do network marketing as a business, is because nobody wakes up in the morning and wants to be rejected. There's a few of us where rejection doesn't matter at all. It's like water rolling off a duck. But for the majority of us, it affects us, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a system, a way, an approach where you don't get rejected, then you can talk to anybody, because if they don't qualify, you're not even going to bring your product or your business up. You know, it used to be, they used to tell us in the old days, if they breathing, bring it up, right? Or if they don't sign up, you must have said something wrong, or you talked too much, or you didn't talk enough. All that old crazy stuff. They did the best they can, but we've evolved now. Now there's a book with research behind it on the way human beings react. And he said, if we use any sales techniques, if we use any trickery or convincing people, no matter how kind we are, they may get in, but they're going to quit because they came in for our reasons and not theirs.
That's right.
Yeah. And one thing that I think that was really important that you had mentioned is your vibe. So if you're approaching somebody and you got a negative vibe,
Yes.
it's not going to attract positivity.
Oh, no.
Although negatives and positives attract. When you're looking at somebody and wanting to bring them into the family, what's going to be sweeter? Vinegar or honey?
Yeah, you definitely want the honey, but you know what's so great about that? And AJ, we see your hand. What's so great about that is the fact that it's your business. You don't have to bring anybody in that you don't have that vibe with. And if if you have that vibe, the conversation ends. You can just basically say it was great meeting you and go about your business. That's what's so great about it.
And that's something it took me a while in the beginning to understand is I don't have to work with people I don't want to work with.
There you go.
No, you don't.
It's your business.
And that just makes everything so much easier. Well, we've got people saying Yolanda rocks, Raymond rocks, the Browns rock. And we have Yasina asking a question. Yasina, how do you both stay organized? What are some tips?
Well, it depends on your definition of organization. You know, so
I saw you look at your desk.
So it's sort of like, okay.
I'd like to understand the question.
Well, I
get
it, but you want to know that first before you answer? Okay. And I guess you want to know in what way of being organized?
Yeah, give an example. What do you mean?
Organized to make calls, organized in what
So
way?
I'm going to say, how do you say organize in knowing how and when to follow up with somebody?
Well, when you make the approach, when you're talking with someone, organization for me, immediately I know in 24 to 48 hours, I'm following up with that person. So I'm going to note that either in my phone or I'm going to note it in my, and I still have one.
If they qualify.
A Franklin planner, if they qualify, 24 to 48 hours. And that keeps you organized as far as making an approach and bringing new people in. As far as people that's already in the business, organization is I attempt to call people or text them to let them know I've been thinking about them, how things going, because we appreciate them, we honor them. And so that's something that we also do.
You know, there's an answer for everything. That's the attitude that you got to have. There's an answer for everything. And in-network marketing is not like a job, right? But when you're unconditionally committed, you will find a way to do what you need to do. For instance, if you have children or you have something important for you to do, you can leave a message on your machine that, you know, I'll get back with you as soon as I can within the next 12 hours or in the morning or whatever, right? But remember, you're going to have to make sacrifices. You cannot be an entrepreneur and not make sacrifices. Your job is kind of like baked in. You know, you're going to get up a certain time, leave the house, come back home, cook, whatever. But you're going to have to learn some kind of way that if it's important enough to you, cut the stove off, do the call, go back in and cook. And sometimes you're going to eat, I want some peanut butter sandwiches instead of a home cooked meal like me and Yolanda. We get home after work, eat a peanut butter sandwich back 25 years ago, get on the road, drive 2 hours, come back in at the time we were young, eat a peanut butter sandwich and go to bed, right? And get back up and do the same thing the next day. Now, that's unconditional commitment. When your attitude is right, when you have unconditional, the mind will figure out a way with ease. Guys, I'm not talking about struggling or going through stress and all this. The main thing you want to do before you make any decision is learn to relax. You get ready to do a call, relax my shoulders, relax my, just go through the mantra, relax everything. You get ready to do a phone call, you get ready to go in and talk to somebody, relax. Just do it all day long, because that's the state we're supposed to live in. When you relax, when you live in a relaxed stage, right? You things come to you and you make better decisions. You're clearer, right? That's just the way it is. So learn to do that first by doing those things, no matter what it is. And especially if you're one of those people that have learned to live a stressful life, like me. I always made a mountain out of a molehill, because I always wanted something from somebody. And I always wanted to get it, that kind of thing. It makes you think about yourself all the time. So
organization will come, I don't want to say easy, but you will gradually see that you don't have to worry about how I'm going to be organized. It's just there. I know what I have to do. I know the time limit I'm going to do it in. We would get home, like Raymond would say, and we may get home and change clothes or eat a sandwich and then go. But we know that during the rest of that week, when I get home, I may have an hour that I'm going to make phone calls, or an hour where I may have to enroll some people. But that time is used for that time. So that's what you just begin to do, it just becomes a part of your life. And it's not, you don't worry about the organization.
Yeah. And remember, each day changes. We like to be locked into systems, right? Well, if I eat a certain time or whatever, each day is different.
So you just go with the flow and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. Yep.
Go with the flow with discipline.
Yep.
Well, I know you said you had.
I just text them and told them we're running a little bit late.
Yeah, so we'll be okay.
We can take the call.
Okay. All right, AJ.
Hey, Jay, my man.
Wasn't me. It's always fantastic to see you folks. I got two quick questions. Well, I got two questions. First question is, how do you keep your conversations limited to preserve time? Like if checking in with people or whatever the case is, it just seems like some conversations go an hour long or 2 hours sometimes. I mean, how do you truncate these conversations?
Okay, so I'll tell you what I do.
I'll talk all day long. Yeah.
Tell you what he does. Yeah, Raymond will talk all day long. Okay. What I do is basically when I'm talking to folks, and let me say it, I'll do it both ways. If I initiate the call and I call someone, I will say, hey, I just want to check in. I don't want to hold you long. Roughly, do you have about 10 minutes? That's what I will do. And Yolanda is looking at the time. So, and I'll say, I've got a couple more minutes here because I promised you it was only going to be about 10 minutes. So we'll wrap this call up. I was just thinking about you and just wanted to make sure all was well. And I'll give you a call in about 30 days or so. Is that okay? That's it.
Yeah.
I will do that. I kind of set those parameters when I'm making phone calls because I only have a certain amount of time. So, and then when someone calls me, they may not ask me how much time that I have, but I will say to them, sure. They will say, can you talk right now? I say, sure, I got about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, Yolanda let people know at the beginning, listen, I only got about 5 or 10 minutes, right? I don't care how much time you got. I'll just keep going up. But one of the things, so we kind of make a good combination of that firmness, and then the other is, just let it fly, right?
So they'll say to me, Yolanda, I'm not, hold on a second.
They call her Big Mama.
Yeah, I said, hold on a second. Tell you what we're going to do. Is this something that Raymond can help you with? Because I got another call that I have to make. And they're like, oh yeah, I can talk to Raymond. There you go.
Yep. Well, one of the things, AJ, one of the things that I've learned is that people want to know, they want to belong to something. They want to feel safe, right, in your organization. And now Yolanda don't do that all the time. So if you always getting off the phone when they call and you're judging them, oh, they ain't got nothing to talk. Because I used to do it. He ain't building no business. She ain't talking about nothing. But sometimes they just want to call and talk, right? They want to feel safe.
Yep. And just so you know, like Raymond said, I don't do that all the time. But if I have, like tonight, before the happy healthy hour, I know that I have an hour to call people that we've invited on the call. And so if I have that time slotted for X amount of people I'm going to call. So if I get a call coming in, somebody needs something, I will ask them, is this something we need to talk about now? Because I want to make sure I give you my undivided time and attention. But we have a call, the happy healthy hour is coming up, and I've got some people that I need to call and remind them about. And then we can talk after the call if that works for you. And I have more time to talk with you then. And so people go, oh yeah, I forgot about the call. Yeah, we can talk then. So you just have to be honest with people and just let them know, because they too, when I call them, they have something going on. And I want them to be open and honest with me to say, Yolanda, I got a couple of minutes, we can talk now or later. That to me is what relationships is all about. If I can tell you, hey, can we talk later? You can tell me the same thing.
Yeah, we can talk later.
Yeah. So that's how we do that, AJ. It's really just, and you begin to know people too. You know who needs more time. You know those that don't. So those that need more time, 30 minutes, and it's okay.
Yeah,
so
I definitely hear that, and I'm gonna try and set some expectations at the beginning of calls. Most of my calls are incoming, so I'm gonna start to do that better. And I don't have a problem talking with someone all day if they've got a health problem they want to discuss. But as you said, some folks just want to be nurtured.
Right. And but also understand too that we all have things that we have to do in life. And I think you set boundaries in whatever that you do. And for example, we tell folks, new people that come into the business, we'll say, give us a call. And we'll say, we start at 9 a.m. Central and we go to about 10 p.m. Central. So we let people know that those are the times that they can give us a call, because before doing that, we were getting calls at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning. And we have people out of the country, so it's afternoon for them and they weren't thinking. Or it could be that somebody just calls at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's why I believe in setting boundaries, but doing it in a very nice and professional way. And most people understand that and they're okay. Yeah.
Well, my second question is, how do you get family to take the products? Even if you're giving them the products, how do you get folks to take the products?
Your family or my family?
Well, I'm hoping it translates to my family too. I mean, but yeah, how do we
get folks? I can get your family to take the product. I don't know if I can get my family.
Hey, look, I'll put it this way, AJ. When I find out, I'm gonna write a book, and I'll be one of the richest men in America. I'm telling you, when I find the answer to that one, because you can't do it. They don't qualify. That just like another person that belongs to another person's family, which you're talking to, they're just people. They don't qualify, right? So what you do is just love them and keep going. We've been doing this 25 years.
As long as we're buying the product and paying for it, they'll do it.
We in 25 years, we probably got 2, maybe 3 people, and we got big families, right? We're talking about hundreds, if not thousands. 2 or 3 of them on the product. So you can't figure it out. You can't, and don't worry about it.
Can't.
Right? There's nothing wrong with you, because I used to have a complex about it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you healthy even if it kills me. It'll mess
You
around.
know what?
and kill
I
you.
thought you were gonna say, well, everybody likes ZRadical, so just give them ZRadical, they'll drink
No,
it.
no, buddy. Yeah.
No.
I mean, even, y'all heard my story. We got 25 years ago, my sister with 4th stage breast cancer. She started taking it and they sent her home with hospice. It saved her life. She's still here, living a life. I had another sister just died 3 years ago, had pancreatic cancer. Now she saw her other sister, her younger sister, live. When she died, and we went to her house, she had 2 cases of Z that we had sent her free under her bed. Now you tell me, I can't figure it out.
So don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
You just do what you got to do. But what amazes me, and my husband will tell you I do this, and I do it out of love. So I'm just let me position it that way to everyone. People will call, family will say, well, can you help me out? I go, wait. You want me to help you out? The money is coming from that product that you don't believe in. That's where the loan is coming from. So I'm not sure you want that.
That money.
I don't think you want that money. So I don't know if I can help.
Yeah.
It stops them in their tracks.
How do folks join you tonight?
Join us tonight by getting on the Happy Healthy Hour at 7:30 Central at Raymond and Yolanda, and that's AND, Zoom.com. Raymond and Yolanda, Zoom.com, or you can call 929-205-6099. And the meeting ID is 376-933-4887.
Guys,
All right.
Yeah, we have fun on that call. So get your people on there. The more, the merrier.
And if you have a product story, it doesn't have to just be ZRadical. If you have a product story, let us know. We want you to share your story. Yep. We welcome all of our products. We're just part of the 90 for Life family. And yes, we put our money and time and effort all in ZRadical because of the simplicity of it all. But we know that everybody needs the 90 for Life as well. So please, if you have a product story and you want to share and get as many people on that call as you can to build your business, let's share it.
Yeah. A lot of people, guys, think we push ZRadical because we own it. We get a share of what the company sells. I wish we did. I really do. I wish we did. So if anybody doubts us, all you have to do is call Dr. Wallet, call Steve Wallet, call Michelle Wallet. Yeah, I wish we did. I wish one day we could make a deal. Come on now, we pushing this stuff. But we do it because it has research on it, and anybody, I don't care if it's the doctor, Indian chief, can go to the government website and type in for Collagen and see 3,000 studies from Harvard and Duke. So that's one of the only things out here that has as much research on it, that particular for Collagen, than anything else in the world. Anything. That's the reason why we do it. And I'm going to tell you guys, we take the 90 for Life and everything else. We full of vitamins. When I die, I'm going to be full of vitamins and minerals. But we've seen Collagen do everything before we met Dr. Wallet. Everything that all the rest of us by itself. Everything. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When you're building a business, 50% of the population is what? Male. 50 female. A man, after a while, if he's single, he's not gonna mix and match and what's the word on? Put in your blend every day, every morning. He ain't gonna do it. He will get tired of it. It's a male's nature. Now it might be rare, like maybe AJ or Albert or me or Rod or somebody. We may do it, but overall, 80% of men ain't gonna do it. And so therefore, you missed that business. Is not, that means your check is being, you cutting your own throat. Your check is being cut off. Does that make sense? That doesn't make good business sense to me. I mean, it's kind of like, well, they should take the 90 for life. Yeah, we should exercise too. How many of us do it? It's not about what we should do. It's what human nature calls us to do on a daily basis. And I'm going to tell you this. This is not blasphemy because I love it. If y'all look at our 8 steps, you'll see what we recommend when it comes to products. ZRadical and the Healthy Start Pack. But I can guarantee you, we can start today. You sell the Healthy Start Pack. Today is March 12th. We'll compare our businesses. And I'll do just a case of ZRadical. I'll build my business. Let's see who makes the most money and let's see who helps the most people.
Challenge, folks.
Yeah, you can get committed to something, but use common sense. Use good business sense. That's what we call being honest with yourself.
We just had a young man from North Carolina very quickly, and Rebecca, I know it's time to wrap this up. We just had a young man from North Carolina to call us, and he is into health. And he basically said, he says, don't send me any more of that pack. And I was like, okay, let me go back and make sure what he got. He says, but double me up on the ZRadical. He says, I'm taking that every day. It's real easy. He said, I just go in, I just gulp the bottle and I'm good to go. And I got enough of the other stuff to last me. So that's what I need. He says, I got other people that go on they're going to drink this ZRadical. They're not going to do that right now. So do I just not give them anything? And we're like, no, but let them know they need the 90 essential nutrients. Let them know that because their body needs that. So if they're not going to do the 90 essential nutrients, tell them that they need to at least get a bottle of the plant-derived minerals. So that's what they're doing, a ZRadical and a bottle of the plant-derived minerals. So, but their trust is growing. So they will eventually, and this is what normally happens, all of a sudden they start the 90 essential nutrients again, and it's not a problem. So that's what you call belief, building that credibility, and working with them where they are. And that's what you do. So.
Excellent, excellent, excellent advice. And, you know, I'm going to also take that advice when somebody comes saying, Mom, can I have some money? I'm like, I don't think you want it.
Coming from that nutrition that you said, that stuff don't work. My money don't work either.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, Beck, about the system, guys, because every couple of years, this is the way longevity works, or probably a lot of other network marketing companies. When things are kind of at stale, all businesses go through ebbs and flows, all companies. And each individual business go through ebbs and flows. So when that happens, the company, sometimes we get desperate and we do things, right? To try and motivate people. Well, first of all, you cannot be motivated on a permanent basis from anything outside. Your motivation has to come from the inside if it's going to last. I've had people, me and Yolanda have had people come up, I need to be motivated. And we look at each other and say, uh-oh, they probably ain't going to be around long because they're not reading. Motivation, you have to read and listen to podcasts and do something to motivate yourself. Now, sometimes we've heard people say, well, you know, I just got to be still sometimes. Yeah, you be still, but the Bible says move your feet.
Stay plugged in, get on the calls. If you're not doing anything, sponsoring people, get on the calls. Stay plugged in.
Yeah.
When you're not plugged in, that's when you're gone. You're gone.
Yeah. So, and the last thing, as far as the system is concerned, is this bit. The system works, and I lost my thought about it. Oh, the company comes up with systems, you know, like now you've been hearing lately about a system and a presentation. You've been hearing a lot about that. Well, when you understand nature, we went to the company 20 years ago with the system, right? And they wouldn't adopt it. I said, you don't have to call it Raymond and Yolanda or the Majestic Eagle system. Just call it the longevity system. We don't care, right? Like if they were going to pay us for it, it'd been a different thing. But we wanted people to succeed. And I think that's why we're so blessed. We're not selfish like that. So if you think I'm lying, I don't care where you go, what system you use, any of the leaders here included, you got to make a list of names. You got to follow up. You got to do 3-ways. You got to do Zooms or either conference calls, meetings and conference call. That is you can't build a business with that. I don't care what company you're at.
Those are the fundamentals of the system.
Yeah, we came up with the system. The only difference between our system and the other systems that come up, we explain why you do what you do. We don't just say, do this, follow up within 24 hours. Well, how do you follow up? What do you say? Why do you follow up within 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours? When you do a 3-way call with somebody, what do you say? Why do you say it? Because human nature works a certain way. That's the only difference, but everybody has to come. So when you hear this stuff about coming up with a new system, no, we all have the same system. Every company, they're going to do those, at least those 5 things. They might add something to it. Like we have 8 steps, right? But the last 3 don't matter if you're not doing the other ones, right? So just don't get lost in the minutia, so to speak. Think for yourself. Think for yourself.
Well, I think we had one more person that had a question. Keely, if you have time.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let me see. Keely, go ahead and ask your question, my dear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Always appreciate you two extending your time on behalf of all of us because you guys are fabulous. I'm a strategist, a business strategist, so I'm always looking for the strategies. What would you say is your targeted duplication strategy for attracting people to you?
Well, I'm of the opinion, Kelly, of everything starts on the inside, right? So to attract people to you, you must be attractive to yourself. In other words, you think a certain way, you carry a certain way. You can attract people certain people, like we got a lot of bling bling in our lives. It wasn't always like that. I don't mean, I'm saying it as humbly as I know how. And sometimes people will ask us, how do we get this and how do we get that? But even if they join because of those reasons, they don't stay, right? They join us because of the way we feel about ourselves. It's an energy that we all send out. And that comes from the reading, from the commitment to studying and applying. And I'm gonna give you a good example. I'm one of those people. I'm just totally honest. I have people, come up to me and say, well, the Bible says this, a renewing of the mind. Oh, they can quote the Bible and scripture all day long, but their life don't represent nothing they're talking about. You see what I'm saying? They don't represent nothing. Look at your life. I understand you mean well, but you're trying to impress me. You can't impress me. I look at what you do and what you say. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm going to love you because I know who you really are on the inside. I know who you are. Even if you're a drunk, I know who you really are. And that comes from studying and, all that stuff over time, over years. So I think, Kelly, as far as attraction, if you want to start talking about the physical part of it, like putting ads out and things like that, that's a whole totally different ballgame. But when you want to build something solid, right, and keep it residual, that's what you do. You work on yourself from the inside out, become attractive. You ever seen one of those people that they were not really attractive on the outside, but on the inside they were attractive, and you were attracted to them because of this energy that they have, or whatever.
Mhm.
It's a good-looking man, a good-looking woman, and not a good-looking man. It's because he has this about him, this belief about it. If it's real, if it's not real, he might be faking it for a while, but eventually whatever he is will come out. So it kind of works like that. I hope that helps, Kelly.
So I just add to that, because when you said you are a strategist, and strategists usually have a logical part of their brain that's working.
Yeah.
And what Raymond said really is not going to
register. Yeah.
So strategically, when we're asked that question, what do you do to be attractive? My answer always is, strategically, I don't think that I'm not attractive. My strategy is that I am going to make sure that my strategy is about that person. So whatever I do, whoever I meet, it's all about them. So that's what the first thing that I tell people when they're looking at something from that standpoint of what's my strategy. Your strategy isn't about you and what you want. It is about them and how you're going to get them to get what they want so that you will get what you want. So how do you become attractive? By simply listening and asking questions to other people. Or if you're doing an ad, that ad should read something about what are your dreams, what are you thinking, of things of that nature. It's about them, not about us. That's why I don't ever tell my story first. When I'm talking to someone, I never tell my story. My story is to listen to them. And then when they ask me for my story, then I'm going to tell them, because now they want to know. It's not that I'm starting off giving them my story. They could care less about me.
Understood. Well, the reason I asked the question is I get all of the difficult clients. I get the ones that are critical and chronic. And so I know that, they know that I do a lot of time building that particular relationship. So my sale can be a longer term sale, than a shorter term sale.
That's right.
I'd like to get some of those easier ones, but it seems like I get the ones that nobody else wants to deal with. No, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that because it's a blessing in disguise in a different way. And it's but it also can be frustrating.
Yeah. So yeah, frustrating, but turn that frustration into what you're doing, into that positive.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm getting these individuals because they're leading me to someone else. And that someone else may not have that chronic condition or whatnot.
Yeah, it's worked.
Yeah. So congratulations to the fact that you are aware of what is happening. And your strategy is that if you keep doing what you're doing and change a little things and renewing the mind, you'll see a shift.
And she's grateful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you always, and I'll catch you guys later on tonight.
All right. Thank you, Kelly.
You bet, dear.
Keely.
All right. And Keely may have the most family members on the products that of the people I know. So
AJ, talk to Keely.
Yeah.
That's right. Talk to Keely.
Strong arm technique.
And then share with all of us how she does it. Because we want to know too.
Yeah, Keely, you need to be training us.
Yeah, well, it's like this. When they did actually watch my father recover. And when he recovered, they started to pay attention. And I ignored them. When they wanted the information, I wouldn't give it to them. I said, unless you're serious, and they can all afford it, or whatever. And I said, but I hear you making excuses. So I said, I'm the eldest of 4. And then it just took off on wildfire. And I'm like, oh, well, now they're listening. And then my brother-in-law then had a heart attack, went into congestive heart failure. And then they all woke up.
The old takeaway strategy, huh?
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
What a blessing.
Wow. Well, Keely, we're going to have you come on again as a guest here on Daily with Doc. Put it on your calendar, my dear.
Okay.
And yes, Raymond and Yolanda, thank you so much for joining us overtime here on the Daily with Doc and Becca show. We just greatly appreciate you, and I appreciate all of the people that are on this screen right now as they are helping make this streamlined without any negative events, and bringing in the questions and the keeping the stream going and everything. It's a family, folks. This is only a tiny little, not even a fraction of a percent of how large this amazing family is. And if you are watching and thinking, you know, I signed up, but I haven't really done anything with it. Well, why? The only thing stopping you is you.
Right.
So change that mindset. Get into that vibe of relaxing your mind, your shoulders.
Yes.
You said your hips,
Your stomach,
your
hips.
hips.
stomach, and pick up that phone and make those phone calls. Thank you again, Raymond and Yolanda. I know that you need to get going to your next appointments. We greatly love and appreciate you both. And thank you to Marilyn, who was on overtime fighting with the internet, and she kept getting booted off and coming back. She kept on typing. Thank you, Marilyn, for not giving up. And Sherry, thank you so much as part of our tech crew, getting everything set up so that the stream goes out to the different platforms. And Rod being out watching those different platforms for questions. Thank you, Rod. For Ruth Ellen, my executive production manager, keeping us all in line, making sure the audios, the video, everything looks great, and saying it's all yours so that we can go live. Thank you, Ruth Ellen. We have Albert joining us from South Africa, letting people in, and we have our director of marketing, something like that, AJ, who's been responsible for helping us get on all of the different platforms. And folks, they are just a few of the certified holistic health coaches that have graduated from the Institute of Holistic Health that I have chosen to be part of the Daily with Doc phone team. So if you are not working with somebody and you would like to speak with a certified holistic health coach, you've never spoken to anybody before, you are not already on the longevity products, then feel free to give them a call at 855 or give us a call at 855-949-3377. But if you are working with somebody and they referred you to this program, any of our programs, they are your person. Get back with them, tell them thank you and what you liked best about the program you watched. If you have any questions, they are going to be the one that's going to be the first person to help you find the answer. If they don't already know it, they'll know how to find it. So again, for those not working with anybody, 855-949-3377. Thank you again for joining us, investing this hour and a half plus into your own wellness, physical and financial, folks, here on Daily with Doc. Bye for now.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach.